Alright everybody, welcome back to the Sonic Adventure 2 playthrough. We are here and we're about to fight off against Shadow in Green Forest. And now we find the Faker. Who is the Faker?
I found you! I have found you.
It's really debatable which one of them is the Faker, because technically Shadow was made first, like 50 years before this.
Let's be honest, that was not canon until Shadow the Hedgehog.
Well, we know nothing about Sonic's history, so it's hard to say where he stands.
Well,
all we know about Sonic is that he was from Mobius, but even then, this is not Mobius.
Well, I don't even have a problem. It's like two different continuities, really, because you have Mobius, like in the Spinball stuff and all that, and you have Earth with Adventure and all these other things. I mean, but who's to say that they don't technically exist in the same world? Like, this is the thing with Sonic. You can either take it seriously and you can just kind of roll with it, or you can nitpick at it and say, well, this isn't realistic, and why should we take it seriously? I personally see it this way. If you have Eggman is human, correct? So if Eggman is a human, then who is to say that you can't have other humans in this world? So what's the big deal?
Yeah, no.
I can see it, everything as one whole too. I mean, even those locations in Sonic Adventure 2 look realistic, but they still are shaped like Sonic levels with all the loops and stuff, so it's still kind of abstract.
And that's the thing about I don't understand why it was a big debate anyway to start with. I mean, if you have humans to begin with, I mean, was Eggman ever anything other than a human? Even his original design, when he was supposed to be the protagonist of a series, he was still human. He was a human dressed in pajamas and a pillow, but he was still human.
What the heck happened?
I want to make a couple things. I figured I should say a couple things here. Like, they had the Sonic X anime. I don't know if you've even heard about this or not, but in that they explain that, oh no, Mobius was this one planet that Eggman was on and the other planets people were on, and then suddenly Chaos Control, they're all there now, you know, no sense was made as to like why Chaos Control brought them to Earth or whatnot, but in that kind of thing, people like to say, oh that's canon. I don't know if Sonic X can be considered canon, but that's kind of, I kind of like that interpretation of it. It's like, they are two separate worlds and somehow they add Chaos Control to there because why not, right? Magic. This is Sonic the Hedgehog. But I'm not opposed to the idea of like, you know, hey, this is one the same. This is in fact Mobius / Earth. You know, they are the same world of two different, you know, names. But you know, in addition to the Ancient Light. But in addition to that, you know, there is the idea of well, like why are these worlds so weird? Like, how can humans traverse these kind of worlds that only Sonic seems to be able to traverse? You know, it's like, it just seems so kind of out of place. Also, you almost fell off.
I just wish they kind of make it clear that, you know, anthros and humans just live alongside each other and there's no real difference between them. Like, just put a bunch of more anthros between the crowds and then you kind of solve the problem. Like, it's only because Sonic Adventure makes such a clear differentiation between the main characters and the humans, that's why there's confusion. If we just saw a bunch of random other NPC anthros, the whole confusion wouldn't be here. Because now you're constantly wondering, okay, is there something special about the heroes? Are they aliens? Are they science experiments? Like, why are they the only ones who look weird? I think that's just a problem.
I think go ahead, Torch.
And like again, they bring this kind of thing up, these kind of questions up in Sonic X, the anime series. They like in the first episode, they're like, who are these characters? And they have them in like one of Gunn's labs, so they analyze like, who are these creatures? You know, and it's like, you know,
exactly. So there they establish where everyone is, how logic it is. But even you can't do it without that explanation. As long as we see more NPCs running around like anthros.
Basically balance the scales between the humans and the Sonic team.
Yeah, or at least make clear where everyone stands. I think that's just the problem. They never really established the position of the anthros in this universe.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's like, oh, it's Sonic and his friend, and that's pretty much it in terms of like space guy or not space guys, the anthros. It's like, you look at like. I hate to bring this game up, Sonic 06, but like in Soliana, before we go into the end stage, like that's a big, huge city full of humans. You know, no anthros anywhere, just humans. You know, it's like you could have done so much more with that. You could have made it so that they could, you know, have more anthros in the kind of world like that, Although at the same time, they made a bunch of characters seem more realistic. Like Eggman seems more like a human. I don't know.
It's even more annoying in Sonic Unleashed because at least by Sonic 06 they're very cheap with the NPCs, so I can kind of understand they do it out of laziness. But in Unleashed they actually made unique models for every citizen, so then it was easier to throw in a bunch of anthros just randomly. Because you can see they put a lot more effort into it then. So with 06 and Adventure I kind of just write it off as laziness.
Oh yeah, Sonic Adventure. The NPCs in that were just oh boy, lazy. like you can tell like there were duplicate models of people everywhere. Like not even like I remember with one particular part like near the hotel, you could go like 2 feet like to the onto like the in like the pool area, and there's these 2 girls in the exact same swimsuit, like identical twins almost. It's like okay, I don't know. That seems pretty lazy to me. You know, but
I didn't really mind at the time because all games at that time were that lazy. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
It kind of makes it an artistic style, and I don't really think too much about it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I don't think it's much of a like an issue in the long run. That was Dreamcast era, but like.
Most RPGs had a lot of recycled NPCs. It's just saving space.
Yeah, take for example, Ocarina of Time Majora's Masks. All those recycled NPCs between games.
Okay, but that's kind of different. Zelda is actually pretty good in giving every NPC a unique look. But then again, it doesn't have very many cities anyway.
Yeah, it's like 1 or 2. Depending on the game.
1 big city, 1 small town usually, yeah. So they don't need too many NPCs.
Pretty much. Although Sonic Adventure had just the 1 big city with
oh god.
No! Ow.
Well, 2 if you count Echidna City.
What are you doing? No! Oh jeez.
Whoa.
He had a ring. He had a ring. He would have been fine.
Still, he almost didn't. Like, roadkill Echidna anyone? Yum.
You?
Clearly,
You're
sarcasm is
Star
wasted
Heart.
on you.
Wouldn't that be considered like cannibalism if an anthro ate another anthro?
No.
Yes.
No. It's only
Why are we-
cannibalism if you're eating the same species.
Wait, how did we get to this?
Good question.
I don't know actually. That's why I was about to say why are we talking?
It's like we went to cannibalism.
Okay, here's something else that bothers me. I get that you want to put the heroes or the humans in these cutscenes, but you could have done a little more work, make them look realistic.
No, that's just a limitation of the time.
Yeah, I'll admit, like PS, like even the PlayStation 1, like there was one game I remember called Parasite Eve. Now that game, like the 3D models in that game were just ugh. And look at any of the Final Fantasy 8 or 9. Those games had
Okay.
just ugh.
Okay, now it starts getting serious. Eggman's gonna blow up the moon with his snot laser, I guess. I don't know.
His Baldy McNose laser.
Oh god.
Now it's not. That's not in this game. That's not until later. Oh, that's so beautiful.
And now half the moon explodes, and then it suddenly repairs itself in every other Sonic game to date.
Oh, we just never saw the other half. Well, Eggman fixed it.
Right.
No,
That's the Sonic X.
That's the Sonic X thing.
Like, hey, it worked.
In Sonic X, they gave an excuse, but here it's like they're 2 different continuities technically. So now all of a sudden the moon is just fine, like the moon self-repairs.
They
I like to
actually
think that because the moon is broken, that all the water got crazy and Eggman's bases got underwater, and because of that he was forced to fix it himself just to do it himself.
Hey, that works.
Yeah, it's fine with me right there. One of the I think it's a developer for the original Sonic Adventure 2 was like, yeah, the moon eventually rotated so that you can't see the destroyed half of the moon. It's like, that's not how that works.
We're seeing the good side.
It's like the moon's like a model. Like, just get my good side, okay? Just get my good side.
Guys, it's a Sonic universe. Every time you break something in the levels, it regrows after a while. Maybe the moon works on the same logic.
I mean, hey.
The crumbling rocks in the levels. That's the wonderful thing about Sonic's universe. You can always find an excuse for everything.
Nanomachines, son. That's like in Metal Gear. Every time you need something to happen, you just do more nanomachines.
do. Do.
Metal Gear Solid's even better at coming up with excuses if weird stuff happen all the time.
But it's the same excuse though. It's like every time you need something to happen, nanomachines. That's all. That's all you need.
Everything has to have some sort of Deus Ex Machina somewhere along the line. Dragon Ball Z? Oh, my power level suddenly went up because I transformed suddenly for no known reason other than because why not? Or like, what's another good Deus Ex Machina? I got one. I got nothing. Ooh, Booster, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yay.
as a writer, you know sometimes why they have to have those excuses, because sometimes you're juggling so many storylines and so many characters, so many stuff on the one hand that you just kind of forget about some stuff. So
yeah,
any
exactly.
good writer needs a couple excuses.
Oh, comic books.
But
I just
Sonic
realized-
doesn't really have that problem, I don't think. Not nearly as much as some people would say. I mean, the moon, okay, fine, you want to go there, but I mean, what other than that, I can't really think of anything that's really all that terrible.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
Oh, I never find anything terrible. I always find it funny. It's fascinating to think about.
But that's and okay. So let's see. I never liked Mission Street. I think I hate Mission Street more than any other of them.
Eternal Engine.
No, I don't.
I wish it took more place in the street itself. I like how the street looks. Just as soon as we cut to the bridge, it gets kind of boring. Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was going to add, like, this is supposed to be. Supposedly, I looked this up, or I was told about this later on. But like, this was supposed to be based on the Golden Gate Bridge, because the Sonic team was located in San Francisco at the time. But like, even so, like, this is not. Like, no one can drive on a bridge like this because holy cow, things are exploding everywhere. What are these metallic hexagonal prison things?
That's because Gun is destroying everything, so...
It's called... Here's an explanation. It's called Police Roadblock.
Well, yeah, Police Roadblock.
Quite the roadblock, I must admit.
Quite the roadblock.
Well, you're dealing with anthropomorphic... Anthro-maniacs who are able to run at high speeds. You kind of need all the barricades.
I love to think that they always do this with everything. Like with O.J. Simpson in this universe, they also had this kind of roadblock for him. Just to blow up a whole bridge just to stop him.
Guess why not, right?
Yeah, why not? Everything fixed itself, just like the moon.
In time.
And that's part of the charm of Sonic, really. It's like people can get all mad about this sort of thing. I just have fun with it. Like, you have government conspiracy. Okay, well, you know what? This is Sonic's world, right? Like, there are government conspiracies. There are freaking prophecies in the classic games. Like, oh my God, Sonic was supposed to save the world from Eggman stealing the Master Emerald all those years ago, and now it's finally come to be. Why not? Why can't you have this sort of thing?
Well, the thing is, it's not even really about the government. In Sonic Infinity 2, I always think that Gun just represents humanity in general. It's not really about the government. It's just about humans make mistakes in general, and Sonic and Tails and the friends are supposed to fight for them. So Gerald is just angry at humanity for always failing and being evil. And Sonic and friends are there to defend them. Oh, well, humans make mistakes sometimes, but so they're good inside, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of really the point. It's not really the point to really make a big deal out of government conspiracies. Because the gun is not really a character in this game, right? It's more a force of nature.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of just, it's there. But I just want to say, like, to the point of, like, that's kind of the whole point of the of the Shadow the Hedgehog game. It was like, the humans generally made a mistake, but Maria Robotnik wanted Shadow to know, hey, this is humanity. You should treat them like you should be good to them, even though they made these mistakes. Don't be mad at them or whatever. You know, that's generally the whole point of that game. Was like, of just like, Shadow, get over it and just protect humanity as you're supposed to, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but Shadow was more like, you choose and then no, you don't. So that was a execution error.
Whoa!
But yeah, Gun is never really portrayed as evil. They're just incompetent, of extreme, or just kind of dangerous, but not really evil.
Well, I never got the sense that they were. It's just they just happen to be in your way because, oh God, Sonic apparently stole the Chaos Emerald. So and after that, it's like, yeah, they are the good guys. If in Shadow, it's very cut and dry. Black aliens are bad, and the gun people are the ones who are good because they're stopping the bad.
No, not that cut and dry, because of course the gun general is clearly out of control. So they're still portrayed as a bit incompetent and out of control.
Well, that's like the one, but that's like that. I don't see that as I don't see the general as like the entire representation of Gun. I mean, Gun is still an organization. The general just has his own personal bias. He's only after Shadow because Maria, and he thinks that Shadow killed her or whatever, and that's the Gun commander's problem. But as far as the rest of the story goes, I mean, Gun is trying to stop the obvious threat that is black aliens.
Yeah, that's true. I know that. Just saying that Gun is always a little bit betrayed as humans, as flawed. They're not super cut and dry, super good guys. They don't always know what's going on or what's the best option.
Yeah. I think we're getting to the parts of the game where it's more annoying.
Yeah, this level's not really fun.
Like, what was your experience with actually playing the game, Roger?
I really saw that as one big experience. I don't think even as a kid it didn't really bother me that there was different gameplay styles. It was just one big energy, constant new environments, new story, new stuff happening. I was just completely enthralled. But
there was nothing that you kind of just played and you're like, man, I wish this would just kind of get itself over with?
No, not really. That's why I never really played this game as a game, and more really as an experience. I was kind of weird that way.
No, I was always curious about some more clarification on that point. You always called it like you didn't just play it because you wanted the experience, but it's never. I was always wondering more about clarification about how that worked with you. It's like you just treat the whole thing like it's a big storybook, and you're just kind of advancing the story.
Well, I do treat it as a game, and that's the everything. And I don't play it like it's Tetris or something. I really play it to play it. I'm a big Sonic fan. It's a big adventure, and I get to interact with it and play around with it and be excited. It's really just being part of this universe.
I'll admit, when it came to this game, I had both Adventures 1 and 2. And in fact, I think my first Sonic game was actually Sonic Advance for the Game Boy Advance. Even so, I still like the Sonic series as a whole. I really do enjoy it. But I could, like, between Adventure and Adventure 2, when I started playing those games, I saw the significant difference in, like, I like this idea of, like, you're playing as different characters, but, like, they're spread out in the sense, like, you get to play as Tails one day or one level, then Knuckles the next, as opposed to what it was in Adventure, where it was all Knuckles or all Tails or all even Amy or Big, and it's, I like that a little bit better, like that sort of design.
Mixing up the formula and keeping it from getting stale, basically.
Yeah, and then I was, like I said, Sonic Adventure, sorry, not Adventure, Advance, the original Sonic Advance. I kind of like that too, in the sense that it's like, you get to play as like 4 different characters through practically the same stages, and it's like, that is okay too. I'm okay with something like that, but again, it's
because
two separate.
Because it creates this idea of, well, these are different characters and they have their own little niche in the game.
Yeah, like Amy had her hammer that was useful in that game, and Knuckles, I don't know what he can do. He can fly, I guess.
He can climb and he can glide, man, like every other game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they have their own niches, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh yeah, this is one way to play the game, and that was kind of nice. Like the idea of being able to play the same kind of game different ways, as opposed to like something like this, where it's like you get to play it the way that they made it. Is what's coming next? What I think is coming next?
I don't know. What do you think is coming next?
For some reason, I'm not getting a signal from the 6 remaining Chaos Emeralds.
Knuckles showing up. That's coming next.
Knuckles finally meets up with the rest of the crew. It's like, where you been all this time?
Digging through the sewers. You stink.
Go take a shower.
Let's take a dive in Aquatic Mine. Once was a cold place, but now it's a water ride.
Long time no see.
Got lost in the mine, just showed up in a sewer. Wonderful.
In the extremely conveniently placed sewer, I might add. Like, there had to have been... It's supposed to be San Francisco. I cannot imagine there's only one manhole cover in the whole city.
It's coincidence.
Of course. Power of the Chaos Emeralds.
That's what's coming next. He's gonna follow the president's limo.
Into the limo. We can
Yep.
trace the call to find Eggman.
What was the problem with that, though, Torch?
Let's find out, shall we?
Okay, I mean, this is essentially the same thing as the tornado levels in Sonic Adventure, except now it's just instead of flying and shooting, you're just kind of running across the racetrack.
It's more like
No,
a bumper car level then.
No, this is more like Daytona Sonic Edition.
Oh, too bad you can drift, and you don't have the cool music.
Oh god, drift.
If only you could drift in this game. It'd be.
Well, you technically can.
You can drift. It's just
Sorry,
It's-
drift like you can in like a actual Sonic or not Sonic game.
It's not going to be like Mario Kart Double Dash if that's where you're going with this.
Yeah, there's no drift. There's no drifting boost.
There's no control drift. It's basically get a little extra turn. That's about it.
That's kind of I kind of like the control drift as opposed to the, because again you have more control. Uh oh.
Don't say uh-oh every time he hits a wall or a car. You'll be saying uh-oh for like the rest of the stage.
That's not the mission yet.
Slam
I just love how
dunk.
many innocent cars.
I would think that
Okay.
I would think even after they cleared their name, they get in trouble for all the insurance claims. Like,
Yeah,
what,
that-
happened with, what happened with City Escape? You must have knocked off at least 25 different vehicles.
No,
I
did
love
you?
that after every stage you would get a burnout kind of thing where they give you the score of all the damage you caused.
That would be
Yeah.
fun, actually. It's like, look what you did. Look at your dark level. It's so high right now.
This is you. This is what's caused you. Also, I want to point out the fact that this is supposed to be a highway. Like this is always the sky, first of all, and second of all, it's like what even?
It's like an
What?
anti-commercial for San Francisco.
I've never, I don't know, I've never driven in San Francisco. I mean, I've known comedians where they talk about how you drive in Virginia and there's like stop signs everywhere, bridges and everything. There is nothing like that. You're in California, there's one sign, maximum speed 65, go. Good luck. And these people did not have good luck today because there's a maniac on the road.
And that maniac is a twin-tailed fox.
I love to think that all those comedians making those jokes are in these cars right now that you're crashing into. Yeah, I mean, joke right back at you.
I like to file a suit against the Sega team because they had Tails run into me.
Ay. But yeah, the Adventure series. I mean, you had a lot of interesting stuff. I don't know if Adventure 2 was still trying to just show off what the Dreamcast could do. I mean, Adventure was really just the debut. Look at Sonic and look what he can do now with our new equipment. I guess Adventure 2 was really just they were just trying to tell the story.
I think it's more streamlined, yeah. It's like taking Sonic Adventure 1 and then fixing all the problems and making it more tight.
Yeah, except they added some. Like, the biggest complaint, Roger, is Knuckles' levels. Now the radar doesn't blink unless it's the one you're actually supposed to be looking for. That
sucks.
Yeah, that was an oops on their part. I don't know why they decided to do that.
Make it more challenging, I guess, but yeah. I think the Knuckles levels were too easy in Sonic Adventure 1.
Well, then I would, if that was the case, then what I would do is I would just make the world bigger, because at least then you have more to look around at.
Yeah, but then you get those space levels that everyone hates, so not sure that was a good idea.
Well, the space levels would have been perfect for the radar that shows everything at once.
That's true, yeah. That's true.
Now, if you had used Wild Canyon with the radar that shows everything, then the moment you started, everything would be blinking already.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god, okay, so let me just go get this one, 10 seconds later, I'm finished.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Treasure levels. I guess we're still trying to figure out how to make that work.
Well, no, they didn't. They decided to just remove them altogether.
Yep.
There we go, Sonic, yeah, being cool and stuff.
Yep.
I actually like that, I don't know if you agree, I actually like the way that the dialogue kind of overlaps with each other, because it gives a more realistic experience, because, like, you just take us, for example, like, we keep trying to talk over each other and get in our points, but, I mean, that's realistic, not everybody takes turns to just start talking.
At some points I like it, yeah, but not all the time.
And then there are some points in like the HD redo that we're doing here that the sound effects are completely off sync with the characters. Like they jump out of the limo and 5 seconds later we're hearing the jump sound effects.
Yeah, that's just the Steam. In the real game, it doesn't do that, does it?
No.
No, that's
In the GameCube version they got it right, but I think like they tried to fix the timing, and in trying to fix it, they made it worse.
Oh well, go figure, right?
yeah. Go
That's
figure.
Sega.
Sega.
That was the most depressing second
Good at
sound.
spectacle, but bad at the finishing touches.
Okay. Next episode.
See you all in episode 3.
Yeah, yeah.